Otavakesh Shivti Beveit Adonai Shivti Kol Yemei Chayai Shivti Beveit Adonai Shivti Kol Yemei Chayai Lachazot Benoam Adonai Uvaker Behechalot Lachazot Benoam Adonai to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai. One thing, I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. One thing, I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. Achat sha'alti meit Adonai. Achat sha'alti otavakeh.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Bachi Weiler. I'm an alum of the Romemu Yeshiva, and it's great to be here with you all in our daily sit. Whether you're here in the Zoom with us right now or Facebook, YouTube, some point in the future, whenever your present moment is, it's good to be practicing together. Today, I don't know if I have like a kernel of an offering, a sort of concise direction. I just was reading through the Parsha and wanted to spend some time with all the moments of facing toward and facing away, literal faces, and the kind of physical choreography in this Parsha, and maybe just be inspired or curious about what that might mean in our practice, formally during the sit and also throughout our days. In one of the, I would say, many climaxes of the Parsha this week, the sin of the golden calf, while Moshe is up transcendently communing with God, God has to pass on the bad news to Moshe about what's happening down below, and he describes, he says to Moshe, I've seen this nation, and they are amkshe orefu. They're a stiff-necked people. Literally, the nape of their neck is hard. One commentator describes this as their nape is an iron rod, or literally an iron tendon, he says. And other commentators give the image of someone who is given advice, but they just walk on and they turn their head and they face away from the correction offered them. And this idea of facing away of sin in that story as a turning away from, and a rigidity and a kind of denial. It's funny because when I think of the posture of formal meditation, it is one that is maybe not rigid, but I actually find the idea of an iron rod quite helpful in finding alignment and stillness. So it's powerful to have that image of groundedness and stability be given this edge, this other meaning of stiffness and hardness and resistance. And just to trace a few more spots in the Parsha, Moses is described, as being unique in his relationship with God for seeing God panim el panim, face to face. So that really kind of puts into high relief what it means for the nation to be described as by the nape of its neck. And in the process of repair, of recovery, of coming back into intimacy with God after the rupture of the sin of the golden calf, that perceived distance and turning away. In fact, strangely enough, in an almost backwards way, Moses is denied seeing God's face. And there's this introduction of the element of danger of facing something so completely, something so divine and potentially overwhelming, and it can be destructive. And instead, God says, "V'ra'ita et achorai, ufanai lo yera'u." You will see my back, and my face, my front will not be seen. And in that turning away, actually, there's a repair and a safety. And then one more moment after the whole process of repair and carving the new tablets that were broken, establishing this new covenant that's grounded in a more merciful and accommodating distance and acceptance and facing away rather than a judgment-based, a deen-based, complete confrontation of facing forward. Moses' face glows when he comes down to the people. Karnu or panav. Karan or panav. The skin of his face radiated. There is yet, even in that facing away, an acceptance and a presence. So maybe as we approach the ringing of the bell to start our 18 minutes of sitting today, this dance, this back and forth of turning away and turning towards, and all the ways that those stances can provide important vulnerability or important safety and restraint. We may experiment with what it might mean to perhaps turn lovingly away from the discursive thoughts and overwhelming feelings that deserve our attention and deserve our relationship and our love, but maybe we can accept them and radiate love for them without confronting them in a destructive, overwhelming way. And on the other hand, when we feel ourselves resisting and stiffening our necks. Maybe we can find a softness and a gentleness even in that turning away. So let's ring the bell and explore all these options together. will just give us a chance to maybe come back from distraction or overwhelm or restlessness or tiredness. Back to gentle, tender awareness and presence. There's something powerful about this word, orif, nape of the neck. It mostly comes up in pretty dark contexts in the Torah. It's a consistent refrain, this epithet for the nation, stiff-necked. The other places it comes up is in the context of sacrifice, of breaking the neck of the animal to be offered. And the one other meaning that root takes on of ayin, resh, pei, araf is rain related, water related. It's a dripping, a dropping, a trickling, coming down. It comes up a couple times in Parshat Ha'azinu. Ya'arof kematar likchi. May my teachings come down like the rain. I think that taking that sight of stiffness, that the nape of our necks, that we hold so rigid and collect such tension in, remembering that it itself can be a site of seeping in and sinking in and softening. So there's a path to spaciousness through the constriction. We might feel too tired to meditate, too distracted. We can just turn that on its head and say, I'm tired, I'm distracted. And allow our awareness to hold that. And let go of it. we come to the final moments of our sit. We can approach the transition after the bells ring. Maybe beginning to open our eyes and feeling ourselves discern what level of facing forward and what level of shielding and covering and turning away we might need. In each moment. Thank you all so much for sitting with me today. Apologize that we're a few seconds over time. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Beit Adonai, Achad Sha'alti.